What if I told you that the delay you're crying over is actually the setup for the biggest blessing of your life? What if the silence you're afraid of is God preparing a surprise so powerful it will make everything you went through make sense? Stay with me, because God is about to shock you in ways you never expected. What feels like a delay in your life is often the very place where God is doing his most intentional work. You may be looking at the clock, counting the days, wondering why things haven't changed yet. You've prayed, you've believed, you've done everything you thought was right, and still nothing seems to be moving. It's easy in those moments to feel forgotten, overlooked, or even rejected. But what if the delay is not a sign that something is wrong, but proof that something greater is being carefully prepared? Delays have a way of testing your faith. They stretch your patience and challenge your perspective. When things don't happen on your timeline, you start questioning everything: your worth, your direction, even your purpose. But God doesn't operate within human urgency. He sees the full picture, the beginning and the end, and he understands what you need far better than you do. What looks like a standstill to you is actually a setup in motion. Think about it this way: if everything happened instantly, there would be no growth, no transformation, no depth. The waiting season is where your character is refined. It's where you learn trust, resilience, and strength. It's where your foundation is built so that when the blessing finally arrives, you are not only able to receive it, you are able to sustain it, because a blessing given too early can become a burden instead of a breakthrough. Sometimes the delay is also about alignment. There are things, people, and opportunities that need to fall into place before your moment arrives. If God rushed the process, you might step into something incomplete or unstable. So he takes his time arranging every detail behind the scenes, making sure that when it happens the right way. It's also important to understand that delays can be a form of protection. You might be asking for something that you're not fully ready for, or that isn't fully ready for you. God, in his wisdom, holds it back, not to deny you, but to protect you from unnecessary pain or failure. What you see as a closed door today could be saving you from regret tomorrow. The hardest part is trusting this process when you can't see any evidence of progress. But faith is not about seeing, it's about believing even when there's no visible sign. It's about holding on when everything in you wants to give up. And in that space of uncertainty, something powerful is happening within you. You are becoming stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you were before. One day the delay will make sense. You will look back and realize that every moment of waiting had a purpose. The timing will align so perfectly that you'll understand why it couldn't have happened any sooner. And when it finally unfolds, it won't just feel like a blessing, it will feel like a divine surprise, something so precise and meaningful that it confirms God was in control all along. So instead of seeing the delay as a setback, begin to see it as a setup. Trust that something is being built, something is being arranged, and something is being prepared just for you. Your moment is coming, and when it does, it will be worth every second of the wait. There are seasons in life when everything feels quiet, almost unsettlingly still. You pray, you hope, you expect movement, but all you encounter is silence. In those moments, it's easy to assume that nothing is happening, that your efforts are going unnoticed, or that God has somehow stepped back from your situation. But the truth is, silence is not emptiness. It is often the space where the most important work is being done. God does not need noise to move. He doesn't need visible signs to prove his presence. In fact, some of his greatest works happen in the background, far from human eyes. Just because you cannot trace his hand doesn't mean he has stopped working. It simply means he is operating in ways that are beyond your current understanding. What feels like inactivity is actually intentional preparation. When things are visible, it's easy to believe. When doors are opening and opportunities are flowing, faith feels natural. But when everything is hidden, that's where true faith is built. It's in the unseen moments that your trust is tested and strengthened. You are learning to believe not because of what you see, but because of who God is. Behind the scenes, there are details being arranged that you cannot yet comprehend. Conversations are happening, circumstances are shifting, and paths are being aligned in ways you don't realize. God is connecting the right people, removing the wrong influences, and setting up moments that will eventually make sense. If you could see everything he is doing right now, you wouldn't question the silence. You would be in awe of it. Sometimes the quiet season is also a time of internal work. While you're focused on external results, God is focused on your heart, your mindset, mindset and your readiness. He is shaping your character, correcting your perspective, and strengthening your spirit, because what he is preparing for you requires a version of you that is stronger than the one you are today. It's also important to understand that constant movement is not always progress. Sometimes stillness is necessary. It gives you the space to reflect, to grow, and to realign. Without these moments, you might rush into things that are not meant for you or miss the deeper lessons that are essential for your journey. The challenge is not letting the silence convince you that nothing is happening. Your emotions may tell you that you've been forgotten, but your faith must remind you that you are still being guided. Just because you don't hear anything doesn't mean God isn't speaking. Sometimes his answer is not in words, but in the quiet unfolding of events over time. One day, what is hidden will become visible. What is being worked on in secret will reveal itself in a way that surprises you. And when that moment comes, you'll realize that the silence was never empty. It was full of purpose. Every quiet day, every unseen effort, every hidden detail was leading you to something greater. So instead of fearing the silence, learn to trust it. Understand that while you are waiting, God is working. While you are wondering, he is arranging. And while you feel like nothing is changing, everything is slowly coming together in a way that only he can orchestrate. There are moments in life when a door closes so suddenly and so firmly that it leaves you confused and hurt. You thought it was the right opportunity, the right relationship, the right path. You invested your time, your energy, and your hope into it, only to watch it fall apart. In those moments, rejection feels deeply personal. It can make you question your worth, your decisions, and even your future. But what if that rejection was not meant to break you, but to protect you? Not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes it is a form of divine intervention. What you see as something being taken away might actually be something harmful being removed from your life. You may not have all the information, you may not see the full picture, but God does. He knows what lies ahead on every path, and he can see the consequences that you cannot yet imagine. There are situations that look perfect on the surface, but carry hidden complications beneath. A relationship might seem right, but it could lead to emotional pain later. An opportunity might appear promising, but it might not align with your purpose or could take you in a direction that drains you. When God closes a door, it is often because he is preventing you from stepping into something that would eventually hurt you more than help you. Rejection also redirects your path. It forces you to pause and reconsider where you are going. Without that closed door, you might continue moving in a direction that is not meant for you. It is uncomfortable, even painful, but it shifts you towards something better. The redirection may not be clear immediately, but over time, you begin to see how that no was guiding you toward a more meaningful yes. It's important to understand that rejection does not define your value. Just because something did not work out does not mean you are not good enough. It simply means that it was not the right fit. Your worth is not determined by acceptance from people or by the success of a particular situation. Your worth remains constant, regardless of what doors open or close. In many cases, rejection builds strength and resilience within you. It teaches you how to handle disappointment, how to grow from setbacks, and how to trust the process even when it doesn't make sense. It pushes you to develop a deeper sense of self and a stronger connection to your purpose. Without these experiences, you might never reach the level of growth required for what lies ahead. The hardest part is letting go of what you thought was meant for you. It's difficult to release something you had already imagined as part of your future, but holding on to something that is not right can prevent you from receiving what truly belongs to you. Sometimes you have to trust that what is ahead is far greater than what you are leaving behind. One day you will look back and understand why that door had to close. You will see how it protected you from unnecessary pain, how it redirected you toward a better path, and how it prepared you for something greater. What once felt like rejection will make sense as protection. So instead of allowing rejection to discourage you, begin to see it as guidance. Trust that every closed door is leading you closer to the right one. Even when it hurts, believe that you are being protected, not punished, and that something better is already being prepared for you. Before anything meaningful is elevated in your life, there is always a season where you are being prepared for it. This part of the journey is often the least exciting and the most misunderstood because it doesn't come with recognition, applause, or visible results. Instead, it comes with challenges, growth, and moments that stretch you beyond your comfort zone. You may feel like you're stuck or moving slowly, but in reality, something essential is being built within you. Preparation is not about what you have. It's about who you are becoming. Many people focus only on the outcome they desire, success, opportunities, influence, or stability. But what they don't always consider is the level of responsibility that comes with those things. Without proper preparation, what looks like a blessing can quickly become overwhelming. That's why the process matters just as much as the promise. In this season, God works on your character. He teaches you patience when everything in you wants immediate results. He builds humility when you feel overlooked or unnoticed. He strengthens your discipline when you are tempted to give up. These qualities may not seem exciting, but they are the very foundation that will support everything you are praying for. Without them, the weight of your future could crush you instead of elevate you. There are also lessons you can only learn in the process. You learn how to handle pressure, how to stay grounded during uncertainty, and how to trust even when things don't make sense. These lessons are not accidental, they are intentional. Each experience, whether good or difficult, is shaping you into someone who can carry more without breaking. It's important to understand that elevation is not just about going higher. It's about being ready to stay there. Anyone can reach a certain level, but not everyone can maintain it. That's where preparation makes the difference. When you've been properly prepared, you don't just rise quickly, you remain stable, confident, and capable even when new challenges come your way. Sometimes this season feels frustrating because you can see glimpses of what you want, but you're not there yet. You may compare yourself to others who seem to be moving faster or achieving more. But what you don't see is their journey, their timing, or their level of readiness. Your process is unique, and it is designed specifically for what you are meant to handle. Preparation also requires trust. You have to believe that even when things are not happening outwardly, something significant is happening internally. Growth is often invisible at first, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Just like a strong foundation is built beneath the surface before a structure rises, your strength is being developed in ways that are not immediately visible. The key is to remain committed during this phase. Instead of resisting it, embrace it. Learn from it. Allow it to shape you rather than discourage you, because every moment of preparation is adding value to your future. One day, the elevation you've been waiting for will come, and when it does, you will realize that you are not the same person you used to be. You will have the strength, the wisdom, and the maturity to handle it with confidence. What once felt like a slow and difficult process will make perfect sense because it prepared you for something far greater than you could have handled before. There are moments in life when everything seems predictable, controlled, and even stagnant. You wake up each day expecting the same routine, the same struggles, and the same unanswered prayers. It can feel like nothing is changing, like your life is stuck in a cycle that refuses to break. But what you don't always realize is that God has a way of stepping into the ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary, suddenly, unexpectedly, and powerfully. God's timing is not always gradual. While there are seasons of slow growth and quiet preparation, there are also moments of sudden transformation. These are the moments that catch you off guard, the ones you didn't see coming. One day everything feels the same, and the next day something shifts. A door opens, an opportunity appears, a breakthrough happens. It doesn't always come with warning signs or a clear buildup. Sometimes it just happens. This is what makes God's surprises so powerful. They go beyond your expectations and often arrive when you least expect them. You might have already convinced yourself that nothing will change anytime soon. You may have adjusted to the idea of waiting longer, settling into the discomfort of uncertainty. And then, without notice, everything begins to move. The very thing you were praying for starts to unfold in ways you didn't imagine. These sudden moments are not random. They are the result of everything that has been happening behind the scenes. All the waiting, the growth, the delays, and the preparation lead up to that point. It may feel sudden to you, but it has been in motion for a long time. God has been aligning circumstances, positioning people, and creating the perfect timing for it to happen. What makes it even more meaningful is that these surprises often come in ways that exceed your original expectations. You may have been praying for one opportunity, but God brings something even better. You may have been hoping for a small change, but He delivers a major breakthrough. That's because God doesn't just meet expectations, He surpasses them. However, receiving these sudden blessings also requires readiness. When the moment comes, you have to be willing to step into it. Fear, doubt, or hesitation can cause you to miss what you've been waiting for. That's why the previous seasons of preparation are so important. They build the confidence and faith you need to embrace the opportunity when it arrives. It's also important to stay hopeful during the waiting period. Just because nothing has happened yet doesn't mean nothing will happen. Your situation can change at any moment. The breakthrough you've been waiting for could be closer than you think. One conversation, one decision, one opportunity can shift everything in your life. When it finally happens, it will feel almost unreal. You will look back at the days when you felt stuck and realize that change was always possible. You just couldn't see it yet. The waiting will make sense, and the outcome will feel worth every moment of uncertainty. So instead of losing hope, hold on to the possibility of sudden change. Believe that at any moment, your situation can turn around. Because when God decides to move, He doesn't need a long process to prove His power. He can change everything in an instant, and when He does, it will remind you that nothing is ever truly impossible.